This podcast is a quest for well-being, a quest for a meaningful life through the exploration of fundamental truth. Enlightening ideas, insights on physical, mental, and spiritual health. The inspiration is love. The aspiration is to awaken new ways of thinking that can lead us to a new way of being well. Welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul Healing Conversations.
When you're doing your best, ticking the boxes, but you're not truly happy, it is time to access your own self-help support squad, workshops, trainings, and dedicated message support. It's not your fault that you don't have the internal toolkit to get through life well on your own. You will have it now. Valeria interviews Rochelle Knowles. She is a business owner and certified health and life coach, EFT practitioner, and a mindfulness expert helping success-driven men and women whom are stressed, stuck in a rut, no longer enjoying their job, continually repeating bad habits to reconnect to their purpose power, discover their inner peace and calm, and create the life they dream about. Rochelle graduated from university with a BA Hons and Master in Science in Business and Property Finance. She spent her 20s working her way up the career ladder in the corporate and commercial real estate industry. She moved from Paris, New York, and London, chasing her next success goal. When the global pandemic struck, she saw an opportunity to take a leap of faith. Rochelle invested in her well-being and healed her past anxieties. Her journey of doing the inner work began, healing, breaking bad habits, and becoming a happier and healthier person. It was Rochelle's successful experience with her life coach that encouraged her to follow her passion of helping others heal their inner child, rediscover their purpose, find peace in who they are, realize their potential, and achieve their life desires. The mission behind her business is to provide people with the life tools to decrease their stress, undo their conditioning, and increase their fulfillment. Meet Rochelle at mindful-eyes.com. Here's the interview with Rochelle Knowles.
In your own words, who is Rochelle Knowles?
I would say that Rochelle Knowles is a warrior, and she's also a healer who helps other people discover their own life purpose.
What is not to love about that answer? What is not to love her? I just have to unpack that for a moment. So when you say warrior, what kind of warrior are you?
I think I've overcome life's challenges. I have overcome addiction. And I've forgiven those who wronged me. And I didn't stay in that darkness. So I think that makes me a warrior.
How did you do that?
I did that, I guess, through a life coach. And spirituality, connection to faith and spirit has really guided me on this journey alongside life coaching and self-help tools.
What is your definition of spirituality, Rochelle?
So interesting. I feel like my definition of spirituality is connection to source. It's connection. We're all made of energy. Everything around us is made of energy. The universe, we are, and it's that connection to source, to God, and also trusting that the universe always has your back and it has a plan, and surrendering.
That's interesting that you say that, because trust has been now stronger than ever in my life. That it's such a
powerful state of being for the conditioned body and mind, of course, to surrender, to just let life itself, God, the universe, divine force, just guide us and just do what it's supposed to do. That's a big one for me. I'm glad you mentioned trust. Yes.
For sure, for sure. And I had trust, the word trust, on my vision board. I don't know for how many years, from when my trust was broken at the age of 16. And it was only age 30 that I learned trust. I can trust. So yeah, that's been definitely a big part of my journey, and it's a difficult one. It is hard, but again, that connection to spirit helps you rebuild your trust.
And another question I have for you that is related to trust is, how do we learn to trust when we are going through tough times and difficult situations?
It's a practice.
Yeah.
So starting small, trusting yourself. But I believe that the more that we deepen our faith, so in terms of practicing spirituality by meditating, breath work, or even reading spiritual books or prayers, trusting our own inner knowing, and it's a practice.
It's so true. It is a practice. It's funny because I believed that somehow I would get to that place of trust and stay there. But then I realized that there's no destinations really for anything, that we're always learning and growing and evolving, and it takes being open.
Yeah, definitely. Being open, I think, is the outcome that you want might not always happen. So it's not trusting that that's going to happen, but trusting that the outcome that happens is that the universe and source will have your back to help you cope with whatever happens, and something so much better is going to be on the other side of that.
Beautifully said. I absolutely agree. Another question I often ask to myself and a lot of my guests here is, what is the purpose of all the challenge that we go through, all these tough times, even being in a human body? Already, in a way, it's already the journey of suffering in a way, or at least pain, right? Because it will be painful to be here. So what's the purpose of all this?
The purpose, I would say, is self-discovery and personal growth to then serve. I believe that our personal pains help us find our purpose, which in turn helps us serve and help others.
So can we learn these lessons without suffering?
Yes, I believe that we can, but I also think that when you're learning something, there's a need, there's a desire. So maybe you haven't personally suffered, but maybe you've watched or seen somebody else. So the intrigue maybe does stem from someone's type of suffering, but maybe not personal suffering.
So we can actually learn from other people's suffering by being compassionate, empathic.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. I never thought it that way.
Yeah.
Because usually I think about, especially self-love or love itself. How can you give love if you don't have it for yourself, or you don't yet know what love is? So I'm wondering, how can we learn that way? But that makes sense too. It might be like an old soul that comes here and already has those imprints, right, Rochelle? Already knows these things.
I think so. We have everything already within us. It's just about remembering, isn't it? It's remembering your personal power, remembering your self-love.
How do you describe what self-help is? This will be the main topic of our conversation today. So I would love to know the difference between self-help, self-care, self-love, self-improvement. Are they all the same?
It's so interesting. I feel like self-help encompasses all of the different topics and tools and remedies and rituals that help us help ourselves. Whether that be breath work or journaling or meditation or I was going to say supplements, but I guess that's part of your morning routine. Self-help, I'd say, would be more practical tools to help you help yourself, in this case, with your mind and your body and your spirit.
Yeah, so those are tools that we acquire throughout our journey. And another question I have is, what does it take for us to come to this place of helping ourselves? Would you say it's the same answer in a way? It takes suffering, hit rock bottom?
Well, I believe that there's more of a desire for people to want to help themselves. As Dr. Gabor Mate says, we live in a toxic culture now. And whether it be, the news that's giving us negative, constant negative updates, or our friends or our colleagues, we're almost surrounded with this negative energy that I don't believe that you need to go through something, some deep sort of suffering to actually need the support of mental well-being tools, such as self-help tools, because the majority of people throughout the day now do suffer some sort of low or anxiety or stress.
How do you define mental well-being? What is to be mentally well?
To be mentally well is to not have the highs and lows. So it's to feel more consistently happy, to feel fulfilled with your life's purpose, to feel self-confident, to follow your dreams and your passions and to take action on them.
Yeah. That's not easy to do, right? Because it takes trust in ourselves, our inner wisdom. What do you suggest for everyone out there trying to find their life's purpose? How do we go about that? How do we know when we are living our purpose?
Yeah. It's a journey, but I would say start by looking at the people that you admire in your life. And, you can start by creating a list of all the people that you admire in your life and writing down all the qualities that you like about them. And that helps you understand who are you? What are the types of qualities that are in them that are actually in you? And then looking at the things that, what are you passionate about? What are your values? And kind of bringing those together helps you discover, what is your calling? What are you here to do?
So it does take the work of self-discovery, self-awareness. It takes work, right, Rochelle? It's not
exactly
easy. That's why it helps a lot to have a life coach or have some sort of community. It's so crucial, isn't it, to have a healthy community around us, or healthy people, at least.
Definitely. I don't know the stats on having a community, but I know that your happiness and your personal growth accelerates rapidly when you are surrounded by like-minded people that are on a similar journey, where they're open-minded with their self-discovery, and they're wanting to discover what it is that lights them up. What is my purpose, or how can I improve my mental well-being? And being able to share in a safe space, what is going on with you, what is your suffering, is so beautiful.
And I think it also takes being humble, right? Being open, of course, but being humble, because a lot of times we can close ourselves or believe that we don't need anything or anyone. But that never works from my experience. It never did. I guess for some people it might. Have you met anyone who is actually happy and peaceful on their own?
Yeah, I think we fight it, don't we? We think, I can do this on my own.
Yeah.
I can do this on my own.
Yeah.
I definitely tried that for many years.
Yes.
And it ended up leaving me feeling very miserable. So I agree. I think it is about being humble and, accepting help and support. So, no, I haven't met somebody that's done it on their own that is a happy, they might be a successful person, but are they happy?
What do you feel is the purpose of the human experience? Like if it had a final goal or destination per se, what would that be?
Yeah, this is the question, isn't it? This is the ultimate question. Why are we here?
Yes, yes.
And it's so interesting because I asked myself this question when I was such a young child. I remember just lying in bed and thinking that why? What is the point? And for me, the human experience, we are here to go on these lessons and to learn from our past lives, which is something that I don't know too much about. It's not something I'm experienced in, but it's something I guess I believe in, that we're here to almost learn from our past lives and make different choices and make better choices. And I feel like every challenge that happens is like a crossroad. You can make this choice and continue the suffering, or you can, take the different choice, and it's going to be really hard, but it's going to get better.
It has been like an interesting dance listening to this from so many people, that we are here to learn and making the right choices. So that kind of implies that we have free will. So that's an interesting thing, because I have heard also that there are just two choices that we can make. Basically, every choice we make, they stem from two choices, fear or love. So with that in mind, I try to keep that in mind all the time. So the reason why we're here is to choose to love, always choose the path of love.
Yes.
And that's not easy to do, because sometimes we have to let go of certain people, like stay away from them. In my case, I had to stay away from my family members because of they're so dysfunctional, in a sense of causing pain, that I had to stay away from them. So that doesn't seem like too loving to do that, but it is, isn't it?
It certainly is. And it's interesting how a lot of people choose the fear because that is almost the normal. If you've grown up around fear, then that almost is more comfortable for your body and your mind to feel safe, rather than actually choosing love, which is something that you may have never experienced.
With that in mind, we almost finished with the open questions. I have too many. You went on and on. But let me ask you a question about healing. What is healing to you, and what are some of the obstacles to healing?
Healing to me is doing that inner work. So it's taking personal responsibility for your happiness. It is doing the work to clear the stuck and stagnant energy inside your body. So I believe that and this is actually not just a belief, it's a scientifically proven, as I'm sure you'll know, when trauma occurs, it gets stuck in our body, which creates a place for disease and illness to blossom. So as part of the healing process, we need to use self-help tools to clear and release that energy. And then it's about implementing change. So reparenting your inner child, creating healthier habits, stopping self-sabotage. I really feel like healing, again, is like an umbrella for the process, for the journey that you embark on.
So what are some of the misconceptions about healing, Rochelle, from your perspective?
That you can, fix in a day.
Yes, that's for sure. It's a big one. It's a big one.
So, I think everyone's looking for a quick fix, and, transformations happen, but it is a journey. I think the quick fix that, taking pills will give you the desired outcome that you want. I'd say they're the two main ones for me.
That makes a lot of sense, right? And hopefully that's changing now as well. I hope it is. Although I don't like to hope, I prefer to trust.
Yes, I believe it is. I think there's definitely been a change in mindset and over the past couple of years, and it's great to see people's minds opening now. And it's great, like podcasts like this and, social media is so helpful to get that knowledge and that information out there to people.
Yeah, so we see a lot more of these alternative healing modalities and more, let's say, off grid in the way I call them, media. So yes, right. That's great news, actually. So you are a life coach, mental health therapist, mindfulness expert, founder of Mindful Eyes Coaching. I love this. I love the name of your company, and the creator of Self-Help School. An open general question: what is the main intention of your work?
The main intention of my work is to help women heal from their past pains. So I always feel like they need to be released from the shackles of their past and connect them to their personal power so that they can start feeling fulfilled and creating a life that, brings them happiness and joy and peace, of course.
You are the creator of Self-Help School. So talk to me about the services. So how does it work? What do you offer there? All these beautiful services, everything about it. I would love to know. It's not too much.
Amazing. I get super excited when I get to talk about this. So why the Self-Help School was born, I just want to share something. So I'm based in England, and there's around over 1.6 million people on the waiting list for mental health support. And then there's around 8 million people that cannot get specialist mental health support because they're not deemed sick enough. So when I read that, I kind of had this light bulb moment and thought of the Self-Help School, which was a low-cost solution for a life coach, because typically a life coach is around £150, probably $200 in the US, and that's a lot of money for younger people. So I created the Self-Help School with this intention to provide a low-cost solution, but giving people still the opportunity to join in live sessions. So they get 2 monthly live sessions, and then also access to on-demand self-help content, such as exercises that I discussed earlier in the podcast. How do you discover your life purpose? And then meditations, goal-setting exercises, self-love, EFT, emotional freedom technique, tapping sequences. So everything that I described that came under that self-help bundle, I wanted to give people the choice, so they didn't have to sign up to a meditation app and an EFT app and a journaling app and all of these different things, and they had it all in one space, as well as having the live coaching, which happens twice a month, and then they get to connect with like-minded women that get what they're going through.
It's beautiful, Rochelle. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's really beautiful to see this coming, all these beautiful offerings coming back to this reality. Then I see that also that you offer, you just mentioned, one-on-one sessions. You have guided programs too on your website, corporate coaching, you offer that, and also events in person or online wellness events. So that's great to mention. Something else that caught my attention was within your services, you outline the kinds of help that you provide. And I see inner child, you just mentioned them earlier too, inner child, emotions, self-love, life purpose, and forgiveness. How do we get to that point of forgiving someone? And what is the next step after we have forgiven them?
Yeah. It's a very important step in the healing journey, and it's also one of the hardest points. Forgiveness is not about the other person. Forgiveness is about taking back your power. And it doesn't mean that you have to speak with these people or this person. It's about forgiving the situation and understanding that you now have access to this range of self-discovery tools, spiritual tools, and this individual doesn't have access, or maybe didn't have access to these tools, or isn't doing the work, and maybe having a look at what happened to them, and having maybe an understanding and an acceptance that what was the trauma that they sort of went through. And then I heard this amazing quote. I think it was it Nelson Mandela? Or not forgiving is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. And that's what forgiveness is about. It's about you. It's about you reclaiming your power and no longer feeling like a victim and feeling empowered.
What a beautiful answer to that. Yes, that's what my understanding is today. And then I must add that I was very bad at boundaries, at saying no. And that's why I got hurt so many times, because I wanted to say no, but I couldn't. I didn't have that inner empowerment kind of feeling. It was not there, the foundation. So now forgiveness to me is very much connected to boundaries, with that ability to say no when I have to without being afraid.
Yes, definitely.
That's not easy, right, Rochelle? It has not been easy. It has been a practice for me still to say no and not feel bad about it, guilty about it.
Yeah, it's a practice. It's about prioritizing yourself. And again, that's a big part of the journey, is making yourself a priority, and then practicing building boundaries. But this is, again, why it's so great to join a community like the Self-Help School or work with a life coach, because we help you almost put a plan together for how you create those boundaries.
So we're almost at the end. I do have a few more questions for you, the ending questions. But before that, would you like to add anything that you left unsaid?
I don't think so. I think I'm loving every single question that you've asked me. I'm ready for the next questions.
Yeah, I'm loving your answers. It's so amazing to see young people, although I don't see age and I don't see nationality, I don't see color. To me, it's just this huge human family.
Yes.
But sometimes it's kind of, we can't help it but discern and see that some humans, they have not been here for a long time, and they have so much to share. They have so much wisdom. So it is your case. Thank you so much for being the inspiration for young people. What is success to you these days?
Oh my goodness, I love this question, because if you'd asked me that 10 years ago, I would have been, success is X amount in the bank account, it's having this house, it's having this car. Success to me is freedom. It's freedom. It's being emotionally free, mentally free, not letting anybody disrupt my peace. It's freedom.
That's a beautiful answer, right? Success is freedom, right? Emotional freedom, especially. Yes. I agree. What do you love most about being in a human body?
Oh, I guess it is having those range of emotions and going on the journey of life. It's so interesting, and learning and making mistakes, and then having to learn the message behind it and make different choices. And I love personally growing. I am a completely different person than I was 2 years ago. My identity has changed. So if I can do that in 2 years, imagine how much I could change in 10 years. And that fascinates me.
What 3 experiences you wish everyone to have before they lose the body, before they die?
3 experiences. 3 experiences. I think that, I guess, I would love everyone to have the experience of connection to spirituality. Connection to spirituality, self-discovery work, and I mean, are they all connected to this genre? Because I'm like, oh, everyone should travel.
Yes, that's a good idea. That's a good one too.
I feel like understanding other people's cultures and different backgrounds is really important. And I feel like everybody should do that in some ways. It opens your mind. The reason that people become so closed is because they're living in their same community. And I think it's important that people get out of their community and meet people online from different communities, different cultures, or get out and travel as well. Helps you understand the world.
Oh, wow. That's another very wise answer. Yeah, so true. I think traveling, that will really teach us a lot of profound lessons. I agree, about ourselves and how the world is much bigger than we think it is.
Exactly.
So true.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Rochelle, for this conversation today, for your presence in our reality, and for everything that you're doing to help this world to become a more peaceful one. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed this conversation with you.
Me too. And before we say goodbye, where can we find more information about you, the self-help school, your products, services, and future projects?
Of course. So my website is www.mindful-eyes.com. And then my 2 Instagrams are at mindful__eyes and then at self_help_school.
Wonderful. I'll have those links on your podcast profile, so it's easy.
Fantastic.
Click and get there. I'll have them
Great.
there. Thank you so much again, Rochelle, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about Rochelle Knowles and her work, please visit mindful-eyes.com.
To learn more about this podcast, please visit fitforjoy.org/podcast. Thank you again for listening, and bye for now.